Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy, know y'all with me, let's get it, baby, Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy, know you with me, let's get it, baby. Boys just came back from their mission, we going crazy. Kalani, you got no problems, you could call him Jay-Z. Best fans up in the nation since the 1980s. Strange staff, keep us working, yeah, we never lazy. Touchdown, 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 Cougs is who they want now. Red is upstate, and we don't do no uptown. Had them singing like a flute, we don't play around with no oops.
Welcome back to another edition of the KSL.com Rockin' Royal Podcast, the podcast for all those who rock the Y the right way on the pitch, on the court, on the field, and even in their communities, because we don't always stop at the athletic department, but we're going to go football again today, and it's a good time if you're a BYU football fan right now, because this BYU football team is rolling. One of 12 undefeated teams remaining in the Football Bowl subdivision. Yeah, that's right. Only 12 unbeaten teams are remaining in the FBS. BYU is one of them. Shout out to Yahoo Sports' Ross Dellinger for the little nugget of encapsulating every unbeaten team in the FBS. Army, Navy, Miami, Pitt, Iowa State, Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Liberty, Texas, and of course, Brigham Young University. 5-0, 6 weeks into the season. It was a good time to have a bye week last week when 11 top 25 teams lost a game to an unranked opponent. 5 of the top 11, in fact, lost to an unranked opponent. That included 2 in the SEC, where number 1 Alabama went down to Vanderbilt. Wild scenes in Nashville as the Doors carried the goalpost down Broadway Street before throwing it in the lake. And then obviously Arkansas's win over Tennessee. Who can forget that one? Big win for Sam Pittman there. So that drops a couple of teams off of the unbeaten column, keeps those dirty dozen. It's a 12-team playoff, so that should be our 12-team playoff, right? We made it, folks. I'm just kidding. As always, I'm Sean Walker from KSL.com, covering all things BYU for Utah's largest media outlet over there. And some pretty significant news happened Sunday night after BYU's bye week. Again, when they became one of just 12 unbeaten teams in the country, Fox Sports announced late Sunday night that its popular national pregame television show, Big Noon Kickoff, will broadcast live from Provo on Saturday, October 12th, beginning at 8 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. That's when number 14, BYU, is set to host Arizona in the Cougars' annual homecoming game. Kickoff for that is at 2 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time on Fox. If you want tickets or you want to stand in line, I don't think tickets are available. I think it's just first come, first serve. It's recommended to get there about 2 hours before the show goes live. So doing the math, 8 a.m. Mountain Time, it's at 10 a.m. Start time on the East Coast. So that means probably getting to Provo, to BYU campus, to the West Stadium parking lot at LaVell Edwards Stadium about 6 or 6:15 in the morning is what most are suggesting. But it's pretty cool. It's the first ever trip of Big Noon Kickoff to the state of Utah. It's the 2-hour pregame show and tailgate party that has been on the air since 2019, kind of Fox's version of College Game Day, which has become a little bit of a phenomenon on ESPN, but it's hosted by Rob Stone, the legend himself, and features Mark Ingram II, the former Heisman Trophy winner. Speaking of, Matt Leinart will also be in attendance. Urban Meyer, yeah, that's right. He's been to the state of Utah a time or two. And then Brady Quinn also on that panel that provides a preview of the day's top games live from college campuses across the nation. And BYU is the latest one. This from BYU Director of Athletics Tom Holmoe, quote, "We're excited to welcome Fox Big Noon Kickoff to Provo. It's a great opportunity for BYU to showcase our football players, the Rock, Cougar Nation, and the incredible atmosphere of football game day at LaVell Edwards Stadium. On behalf of BYU, I would like to thank Fox Sports, as well as Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark and his staff for this tremendous opportunity. We look forward to an exciting day of football. You can catch more details online on social media. BNF or BNK on Fox is the Twitter and the Instagram account for Big Noon Kickoff. We'll also keep you covered over here at KSL.com and right here on this Rock and Roll podcast feed. So go ahead and give us a little subscribe, give us a follow, give us wherever you are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever that might be. Hit us up, tickle that bell, and we'll give you a notification every time we go live or put a recording in this feed. But on that note, I thought it was pretty cool that Big Noon Kickoff is coming to BYU. Again, it's the first time for the program in Provo. They've hosted ESPN's Game Day a couple of times. Never Big Noon Kickoff. Some pretty big names are going to be in the stands. And I think that's neat just to recognize what this BYU team has done to kind of merit a little bit more of a microscope on what was, remember guys, this was the number 13 team in the Big 12 Conference as recently as last July at Big 12 Media Days in Las Vegas. This BYU team had no expectations on it. Nobody expected anything. To his credit, Kalani Sitake didn't really try to defend it either. He knew what he had, and he said, well, time to go prove themselves right. And I think the Cougars have certainly done that, and it's safe to say the country is taking notice. College football is taking notice of this BYU football team. So the next step is to try to go 3-0 in Big 12 play, to try to beat Big 12 newcomers Arizona, 2 p.m. Mountain Time on Fox. But I wanted to know, so I asked Coach Sitake and a couple of players on Monday just what this moment means for this football program and whether or not BYU players, coaches, staff, etc. know that of a little bit more of a microscope that the program is going to be under. So I'm going to lay them back to back for you guys and then get out of here. Here's head coach Kalani Sitake, as well as wide receiver Keelan Marion and cornerback Mark Collins on the impact and the influence of Big Fox and Big Noon Kickoff coming to Provo this Saturday morning.
Only if you let it become a distraction. I think we prepped for this whole year. We're at the position that we thought we would be, but that means that you go back to working hard again. I'm excited for the fans and for our families, for everybody to see the excitement around BYU football. I'm glad that there's a lot of attention that we're having Fox come in and be part of the festivities because I want to show off our fans. But that doesn't even talk about our offense, our defense, and special teams. We have a lot of work to do. So it's great for everybody, and I want our players to embrace the excitement, the energy, but you embrace it by going to work and you go back to work, stay humble, work hard, and practice hard, get better. That's what we got to do. They've done a great job with that every week so far, and I don't see this week changing with our message and our mentality. We have a leadership meeting coming up in the next little bit, and they know what our expectations are, what I expect of them. This is a team that's led by the players quite a bit. The players are on top of everything, and I trust them to get it done. Obviously, as head coach, you're always worried about certain things like what you mentioned, but those are all distractions that they can be distractions only if you allow them to be. I think we've got to get back to work, man. I think the weekend has shown that college football is wild and crazy, which is what makes it exciting. And if we can do our part by just working hard, staying humble, and finding ways to get better.
You know, we got the news over the weekend, but I think for me it's just another game. Obviously, it's a bigger game to the public or, to everybody else. But for us, we know a good opponent's coming into our stadium. We got to protect our stadium, and that's kind of how I think everybody will look at it. It's not too much about Big Noon, and it shouldn't be. I think that's more so for the fans, and, it's great recognition, obviously, but we're not too worried about it as a team, I don't think. Honestly, like you said, it had nothing to do with BYU football, and it doesn't. But I just thought about our team and how anything can go for us. So I kind of was still locked in during the bye, just seeing how these certain teams were upset, how certain teams came out and won. It's anybody's day. So I kind of just took this weekend as, a pointer for this upcoming week for myself, at least. Just understanding that it's anybody's day. If you come out there and, you're not really ready to go, it'll show up.
I wouldn't say there's no challenge on being humble. We're gonna remain humble the whole season. Just continue to come to practice and work hard, live hard. Study hard, prepare hard. Just make sure we're doing the right things to be ready on Saturday. Even though Big Noon is coming to town, it's like we're gonna pretend like they're not there.
Rockabye babies, rock the stands with the fans. If you with us, raise your hands. Rockabye baby, rockin' Navy. Shout out to my teams, wives and babies. Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy. Know you with me? Let's get it, baby. Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy. Know you with me? Let's get it, baby.
We going long like a cougar tail. Defense hitting hard like some seashells. Getting to the green, I ain't talking kale. Boy, that team up north, man, but oh well. Player. We getting jiggy with that boy Cosmo.
Hey.
We granting kids wishes like that boy Cosmo.
I got you.
They steady hating on us, but we who they watch though. The Pac-12 mad, but we still on top, bro. Jaron Harder, Cody Epps, that's a cool connect.
Yeah, my team is kinda old, but it's cool we there.